So we will see about 8086 instruction set. These are the broad categories of instructions in 8086. We have data copy or transfer instructions, which will help in data movement. We have arithmetic and logic instructions helping us in arithmetic and logic operations. We have branch instructions, which will help the control flow to move to a particular address. Then we have a loop instructions, which will help us to execute a set of instructions again and again. Then machine control instructions will help us to alter the state of machine, that is 8086 base system. Then the flag manipulation instructions will help us to alter the contents of the flags register. Then we have shift and rotate instructions, which will help us to shift and rotate the contents of a particular register. Then we have string based instructions too. So first let us focus on the data copy or transfer instructions. Then the first instruction that we are going to explore is the basic move instruction. Move instruction will help us to move data between a pair of registers or between register and memory location, okay, in both directions. But one thing that move instruction can't do is it can't do memory to memory move. Okay, so if we need to move between memory locations, we have to take the help of a register in between. Then the next thing is in case of move instruction, we can't use the segment register as a destination register when we are using an immediate operand as source. Okay, so if we need to load an immediate value into the segment register, again we have to take the help of an intermediate register, okay, a general purpose register. Then we have to perform the move. So these are some valid move instructions. So move is possible with an immediate operand if it's a general purpose register where the destination is a general purpose register. Then move is possible with what, a register operand. Then move is possible with an indirect address to operand. Move is possible also with a direct address operand as well as with an in-text operand. Okay, then this part shows how we can move a particular immediate value to a segment register. So here the purpose is to load DS or data segment register with 5000H. As we can't move it directly, we will take the help of AX. We will first load 5000H into AX, then we will move the contents of AX, which is 5000H, to DS. Okay, next set of data copy or transfer instructions is with respect to the stack that we have in primary memory. So as we know, stack is a last in first out data structure, and let's see how 8086 treats the system stack. So in 8086 the stack grows towards lower address range. So this might be a possible visualization of 8086 stack. So as I told, the addressing here goes from 0 to 2 raised to k minus 1, or the addressing starts from here and ends here. So this is the higher address range, this is the lower address range. So if you see here, the bottom of stack, right, it occupies the higher address range, and the top of stack occupies the lower address range. So when you add items to stack again and again, right, the stack is supposed to grow towards a lower address range. Okay, so that is how we should visualize stack in 8086. So then the top of stack points to the latest pushed entry. Okay, so if you see here, minus 28 is the latest pushed entry here, and the top of stack points to that entry, and it is kept track by the stack pointer register. Okay, then the stack pointer register actually holds the offset into the stack segment for this particular entry. So the final physical address of this entry, right, this is given by the combination of SS and SP. Okay, we have to augment SS, then add it to SP, then we will get the final address of this particular top of stack entry. Okay, so SSSP keeps track of top of stack. Then in case of 8086, one peculiar thing to notice is only 2 byte movements are possible. Okay, that is a single byte stack movement is not possible in 8086, right? So we will see how stack operations, especially push and pop, can be done. So as we know, using push we can add items to stack. Okay, so the source can be a register or a memory location. Then how does the pushing happen? Because we are supposed to push 2 bytes at a time, right? So it happens like this. The higher byte is pushed first, followed by the lower byte. Then at the end, as we are moving 2 entries into the stack, the SP gets decremented by 2 at the end. Okay, so these are the things to note with respect to 8086 push operation. These are some valid push instructions. So the source for push can be a general purpose register or a segment register, or it can be a direct address memory location too. Okay, so let's see a sample push operation. So in this case, we have to push the contents of AX into the stack. Suppose that this is the top of stack before the pushing happens, right? Then let's see how this push happens. Suppose that the contents of AX is like this. Okay, 55H in the higher byte location and 22H in the lower byte location. Okay, so as we know, the higher byte will be pushed first into stack, then the lower byte. Then let's see how the addressing happens here, or how the SP varies here. So SP was initially FF before 455 and 22 was pushed inside. So in order to push 55, what happens is first SP has to be decremented by 1. Okay, so it will be decremented to FFFE, and then 55 will be pushed inside. Then in order to push 22, again FFFE should be decremented by 1. So we will have FFFD, and then 22H will be pushed. Then as I told earlier, SS and SP together will give the actual physical address, right? So SS will be augmented to a 20-bit address, then added with the SP address to give the final 20-bit addresses. That's what it is written here. So this completes the push operation. Then the pop. The pop is the opposite of push, right? Using pop, we can take out contents from stack. And again, here 2 byte pop movement happens. Okay, like in push, then we can pop contents to either a register or a memory location. Then how are the contents arranged in the destination? Okay, the first byte popped is actually put in the lower byte of the destination, that is the register or memory. Then the second byte is put in the higher location of the register or memory. Then after pop, what is the effective change to SP? So as we know, the stack grows towards lower address and diminishes or reduces towards higher address. As pop is reducing the number of contents in stack, the SP gets incremented by 2 after the pop operation. So here some valid pop operations are shown. So we can pop into a register, into a segment register, or we can also pop into a memory location. So sample pop operation is shown here. We need to pop the current contents of stack into AX. So this is the current top of stack, right? That is the content 22H. So once we issue a pop AX, what happens is at byte level, this 22H will be taken and put into the lower byte of AX, that is L. Then 55H will be taken and it will be put in the higher byte of AX, that is H. Then let's see how SP changes when this pop operation completes. So initially SP is pointing to FFFD here. Then when 22H is removed, it should now point to current top of stack, that is 55H, right? So it will be incremented by 1. So it will be SP will be FFFE, currently pointing to 55. Then when 55 is also popped, what happens? It should point to the next valid top of stack, so it will be incremented by 1. So it will be FFFF. The entire thing will be this one, FFFF.